Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you, my dear friends. We will assemble the motor for the Lada from start to finish. We'll start step by step together. But before we begin, let's agree on a like, share, and subscribe for those who haven't yet. Let's go. We'll start with the basics and the color. Now everyone, we'll begin assembling it in the motor. The first thing we'll start assembling, God willing, is the water tanks. We'll start by getting the water tanks and assembling them. Before we seal the water layers, we give it a layer of silicone, a thin silicone layer like this, and we'll start spreading it on the inside of the plug so that it lasts as long as possible. I use bone silicone because it creates a rubber layer, so it creates an insulating layer, so it's natural for us. We'll start putting the plug in, guys, and we'll get the 24mm aluminum, and we'll start. And now we'll start removing the excess silicone. This is for aesthetic purposes, not for a train, you know, and we'll start finishing. Now we'll start sealing the plumbing. And the most important thing, guys, is cleanliness. It has to be something very clean in the assembly. Before we put the crankshaft, we start applying oil to the alloy. Before installing and securing the crankshaft in its position within the engine block, the following locations must be thoroughly lubricated: the main bearings, standard parts to which the shaft is attached, the crankshaft pins or poles where the connecting rods from the pistons make contact, and the journals to keep the entire crankshaft lubricated and prevent metal-to-metal contact. The purpose of this pre-lubrication, assembly lube, is to ensure that there is no direct dry metal-to-metal contact when the engine is first started, before the oil pump can deliver pressurized oil to all the bearings. And we'll start putting the crank. Ensure proper clearance. The precise distance between the bearing and the crankshaft neck is maintained to support the crankshaft over the oil film during rotation. Verify straightness. Before installing any parts, it is always recommended to inspect the crankshaft to ensure it is free from any bending or warping according to the manufacturer's specifications. The crankshaft consists of main journals and crank pins, all of which rely on rotation within the bearings via a continuous lubrication cycle to prevent damage or engine vibration. Before installing the main caps that hold the shaft in place, we apply the bearing alloys, also known as bearing liners. These alloys reduce friction and provide a thin layer over which the shaft glides thanks to the oil pressure. We will start to put the first one. We closed it. This requires precise steps such as using a piston ring press and applying the correct torque to ensure proper engine alignment. There are several steps for installing and assembling pistons. After preparing the engine block and mounting the crankshaft, the pistons are assembled using the following important steps. Piston preparation. Ensure the piston rings are positioned at varying angles to prevent pressure or oil leaks. Using the compression tool, use a piston ring compressor to tighten the rings securely. Correct orientation. Insert the piston into the cylinder, ensuring the piston marking, such as an arrow or letter, is facing the front of the engine. Connecting to the crankshaft, align the connecting rod with its designated neck on the crankshaft, then install the connecting rod cap, ensuring the alloy bearings are properly positioned. Final tightening. Gradually tighten the connecting rod bolts, adhering to the manufacturer's specified torque values using a torque wrench. Next come the basic assembly and shutdown steps. The assembly process after piston removal requires precision and adherence to engineering standards to ensure efficient engine operation. Connecting the connecting rods to the crankshaft. The connecting rods are attached to the crankshaft using dedicated bolts, and the correct tightening torque must be verified using a torque wrench. Installing the oil pump. It is installed at the bottom of the cylinder block to ensure oil is pumped and lubricated to all moving parts. Sealing the oil pan. Heat-sealed silicone or a dedicated gasket is applied, and then the oil pan bolts are tightened securely to prevent oil leakage. Installing the cylinder head. The new cylinder head gasket is applied, then the head is installed and its bolts are tightened gradually and diagonally to ensure a tight seal and prevent pressure or water leakage. Sealing the valve cover. The top of the engine is sealed using its gasket to protect the camshaft and valves from dirt and oil leakage. When installing the rotating disc and internal discs, adhere to this important rule. Do not position the friction elements, convectors, directly opposite each other. Instead, ensure each friction element is positioned against a metal part. Align the screws for the white yarn in a consistent manner, aligning them with the springs. Install the safety ring, circuits, in its plastic slot, then press the disc downwards. The disc will then easily fit into its designated slot. This, guys, is the valve tensioner. This is the timing chain tensioner. We apply silicone to it so there won't be any oil leaks or anything. We tighten the valve stem and then tighten the valve stem head. After we tighten it and press it down, we tighten the head so it tightens the timing chain properly. Then we start tightening the valve stem. Reinstalling the timing chain cover. Clean the engine block edges that come into contact with the cover. Apply a suitable amount of engine sealant to the corners and areas where the cover meets the engine block or oil pan if necessary. Installing the cover. Secure the cover in place and insert the screws. Tighten the chain cover screws gradually and in opposite directions to ensure the cover is securely in place and completely sealed. Reinstalling the engine head cover, valve cover. Cleaning the surfaces. Ensure any residue from the old gasket or dirt is removed from the head surface and the cover itself. Installing the new gasket. Carefully install the new gasket, valve cover in position. Tightening the bolts. Position the cover and tighten the bolts by hand, then use a torque wrench to tighten the bolts alternately in an X shape to ensure even pressure distribution and prevent gasket damage or cover warping. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed this video. May you all be well. Peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings.